What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another post game here on Mets Central. And the New York Mets take the series over the Athletics as they win the final game 8-0. A much needed bounce back performance. A little bit better for the offense. Definitely, scared me a little bit early on. Definitely got a little bit of help from some poor defense every now and then from the Athletics. But for the most part, I will not complain. I will take the win. I will sit here and be happy about it because Kodai Senga went out there and threw a much needed gem, especially with the lack of off days coming up for this team. And it sucks because if this was deeper in the season, he would have gone probably the full nine with the way that he was pitching. I mean, he was just absolutely beautiful today. And the pitch count was low. It's just unfortunately they got to keep him on the pitch limit. And I don't blame them because it's better to be safe than sorry with the Kodai Senga thing, especially if he's going to be giving outings like this going forward. He didn't get the strikeout stuff, but man, he still pitched such a good game today, and it was beautiful to watch. Before we jump into everything, though, leave a like on your way into the post game show here, or if you're watching on replay, subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, especially if you're Met fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live here on the channel. But yeah, like I said, definitely was worrisome early on, to be honest, to be completely honest here, because in that first inning, we already saw the patterns that we've seen from this team night in and night out, pretty much. I mean, you get the base runners, Lindor with that walk, you benefit off of a terrible throwing error by Muncy, uh, and then Juan Soto's on. So all of a sudden, you got first and second. No, wow, this is the opportunity to jump early and really show that. All right, the offense is here. Let's get going. And then you have Pete Alonso hitting to that double play. Worked a good at bat with 11 pitches there, but still annoying that it ended up being a double play. And then a ground out from Nimmo. The only positive that I was able to take away from that inning is that Severino's pitch count was very high by the end of it. Then we move on to the bottom of the first inning after a leadoff double that Senga allows, which I don't even know how Lawrence Butler got a hold of this one, but Senga was dotting him up 97, which was beautiful. After allowing that double, he settles in and gets the next three outs. Rooker couldn't touch the forkball at all. That just completely disappeared on him on that strikeout pitch there. Gets that cutter in to or I should say he hung it a little bit, but still gets the out from Soderstrom, and then Langoliers ended up grounding out to end the inning. But was nice to see him not allow runs in the first inning because that's something that's been the problem for Kodai Senga. And I don't think it's a secret here is that he gets into trouble early in his outing. So to see him without allowing a run in that first inning was a huge, huge sign that, all right, this is the pitcher that we've been, hoping for, and the pitcher that we expect Senga to be. And it might take a bit for him to, do this night in and night out, or start in and start out, I should say. But the progression's there, and I will absolutely take that. Top of the second, Vientos ends up striking out. Torrens with that single. Beatty just an uncompetitive at bat there. Tyrone Taylor, not the greatest at bat there either, as he strikes out on 3 pitches, and that ends the inning. And that was really annoying because after Severino had to work that first inning, I'm like, can you please make him work a little bit more? That did not happen though. In that inning at the very least. Bottom of the second, a rare error by Lindor, and it feels like every time Seng is out there, he's just making an error. But then a double play generated there as he leaves a sinker in a not so pretty part of the plate. But either way, gets the double play there. Seth Brown then hits a single. Gio Urshela flies out to the end of the inning. So bending but not breaking in that inning for Senga. We go to the third inning where again 1-2-3 inning, and really not great at bats there, especially from Lindor and Soto, which was very disappointing to see. And at that point, I was like, so now after Severino threw all these pitches in the first inning, they're really going to let him go like 5 or 6 innings. And I was a little pissed off. Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie. I was getting annoyed, and I'm like, it's going to be just one of those games where the offense does not come through yet again. Bottom of the third, a single for Muncy, then a single for Butler. A beautiful double play here. Beautiful play made by Brett Beatty. And you know what? I'm going to say this. And he did this. He made a good play with the Wilson one too. I'm going to say this. All right. I think it was the Wilson one where he really made that beautiful double play. Actually, I might have had them mixed up, but either way, I'll say this: Brett Beatty, I still have my feelings about him. He was not great at the plate today, still. But in the field, I will not sit here and lie. He was actually freaking pretty good today. Like, just turning those two double plays was absolutely huge there, especially the one where I don't remember again if it was the first or the second where he has to dive to make and then make the throw, um, on his knees there, ends up getting it over to second base. Just I got to put my hand up and say Vientos probably isn't making those plays, and that could have changed the complexion of the game entirely because then the A's would have went to some higher leverage arms in there, and who knows if this offense does anything. So you know what? I will say that it did help a lot in this game getting those plays there in the field from Brett Beatty. And it's crazy when you play a guy at his natural position versus moving him to second base where he just does not belong there at all. Either way, fourth inning, Pete Alonso grounds out. Brandon Nimmo hits a double. And it's sad that I have to think this way and feel this way this early in the season. But my thought was, how are they going to fuck it up? How are they fucking this up? And then Vientos strikes out, just swinging at a sweeper on the outside part of the plate. And I get that it was a good sweeper, but just none of those pitches were in the zone at all. And it's just so infuriating that it even got to a full count to begin with. Luis Torrens then walks. Brett Beatty strikes out, though, again. Just that was at least a competitive at bat from him, but just again, the same things we've seen from him. Bottom of the fourth inning, Senga allowed a walk, didn't locate his pitches at all on that walk, but still worked out of the mini jam that he got himself into there. No problem at all. Top of the fifth inning, nothing going at all. Just nothing at all. Lindor had a single. It's really about it, and the Mets don't capitalize. Bottom of the fifth, a huge 1-2-3 inning for Senga, which kept the pitch count low because he needed at least one of them in there. Top of the sixth inning, Pete Alonso would get a leadoff walk. And then after the 2 outs, I'm like, here we go again. And Pete Alonso got the third, but I'm like, here we go again. But Luis Torrens, he is making it. He's getting to the point here. I'm going to say Luis Torrens, with the way he's playing, they might have to carry 3 catchers when Alvarez is healthy. They really might have to, because with the way Luis Torrens is swinging the bat, I'm sorry, but it might not be the worst thing to let Alvarez DH for a bit, or even let Torrens DH at points just to get him off his legs a little bit there behind the dish. Maybe you carry 3 catchers, and I know that you're paying $20 million to Marte, and you're paying $7 million to Winker, who didn't really appear much this series because apparently he's got an illness. But if Luis Torrens is going to swing the bat like this, how do you not play the guy? I don't know how you don't play him. He's been unbelievable, and he's really been the only consistent hitter in the bottom of part of the order. And when you see those numbers of, when they showed it today, the top 3, the OPS combined for the top 3 versus the bottom half, that bottom half might not even be at 500. It definitely wouldn't be at 500 without Luis Torrens swinging the bat the way he is. So I'm getting to a point where I think they got to carry 3 catchers to keep him around, because obviously that's where it sucks, where, if you have one of them DH and the other one behind the plate, you got to have a third catcher at that point in case you need the pinch hit at any point. You don't want to lose the DH. So it's the only unfortunate part. But if he's swinging the bat like this, you need that in the lineup. I mean, no one else in the bottom of the order is earning a spot right now. So it's just a thought to have, because Alvarez is still a couple weeks away. So I'm not there yet, but it's a thought to keep in the back of our heads here, of course. Brett Beatty, though, would fly out to end the inning, but 1-0 game then at that point. Bottom of the 6th inning, only allowing a walk there, a high count at bat, 7 pitches, unfortunately, with Soderstrom, but getting that first pitch out on Rooker was huge, and then getting Andujar on the first pitch was huge to save the pitch count. And at that point, I'm like, you got to keep him in the game. Like, at least let him go in the 7th inning until he allows a base runner. Once they expanded the lead, even more of a no-brainer, because Tyrone Taylor gets hit by a pitch. Then Acuna hits that bunt, and not a good bunt at all. And Taylor ends up getting picked at second. If he slid there, though, that he probably would have been safe. But Lindor with a huge RBI double to make it 2-0. Great base running from Acuna. Soto gets a touchy walk Alonso with a strikeout there, which was really infuriating, especially because he's been dominating the outside part of the plate, just did not there. Then back-to-back walks. Vientos drawing that walk brought in a run, which was nice to see from him. And then Leclerc came in, got the final out. Senga, 1-2-3 inning, and the forkball, lively yet again in that seventh inning. The fastball, near a touch in 98 on one of them there to Urshela, the last strike there. He really dialed it up to end the inning there, end his outing. Unbelievable work from him. He gave 7 innings, allowed 4 hits, got 4 strikeouts, only allowed 2 walks. I'm very happy. His velo was up today too. I mean, his fastball consistently sitting 96 to 97 throughout the outing, which is very nice to see, considering, that's what we saw from him more in 2023. Every pitch, though, the velo was up. And I think the warm weather definitely helps there in Sacramento. But, on top of that, I just think in general, he just had it today. Just the forkball, of course, being great. Generate a lot more swing and miss stuff with the fastball, considering the fact that he was dialing it up. And then even the cutter to tunnel it with the fastball, just beautiful the way that he was mixing his pitches today. And that was what we expect more to see from Kodai Senga. So, yeah, I'm very encouraged after what we saw today. Top of the 8th inning, though, Brett Beatty grounds out. Tyrone Taylor hits a triple, which, man, like I said, the defense out there, not the greatest. I mean, there was one later, though, which was really abysmal from Brown out there in center field. But either way, um, yeah. Then a balk ended up bringing a run in, which was nice to see. Acuna gets that single. Lindor lines out. Soto with a walk. Alonso flies out. So again, not capitalizing enough, which was a little annoying. But AJ Minter comes in, allows a single to Lawrence Butler. That's really about it. I was happy to see him get a higher leverage part of the order and do really good against that part of the order as well. His cutter was looking really good in terms of just the velo, and the fastball definitely a little bit down from the last outing. I feel like he was touching 95, 96 a little bit more. Not too much down, just like the slightest tick down, but still encouraging stuff from AJ Minter. And then the 9th inning, the offense finally let it all out, finally went off. A single from Nimmo. Then you have the double from Vientos. I think that was the one where Brown, just terrible play there in the outfield. Then Torrens with a double. That made it 6-0. Beatty with the triple, doing his Chris Kreider impression a little bit there. 8-0. Or 7-0 rather. And then it was 8-0 when Taylor ended up getting on with that fielding error. Acuna hits it to the double play. Lindor flies out. And then Kranick comes in, 1-2-3 inning. I didn't even sweat one bit, which was beautiful. And the Mets win the game. Just really good to see the offense actually come through a little bit. Still more the same in terms of it being bunched in a few innings here, but a lot of it in the back half of the game, which was nice to see. I wish it really gave Senga a little bit more to work with, because Senga maybe could have kept the pitch count a little bit lower, because he could have attacked hitters a little bit more if they were able to score runs early, but he had to nibble around the zone a little bit more because of that. Either way, though, I'm not going to complain, because he finally got 7 innings from a starting pitcher, which is much needed, because there's no off day tomorrow, which is still ridiculous how there was the off day between Miami and coming back home for the home opener, but there's no off day when they're traveling from Sacramento to Minnesota. That's weird to me. But Senga turned in a great start. Minter was great. Kranick was great. Just absolutely love what we got here today from the pitching. Yet again, the offense 3 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Like I've been saying, definitely left some meat on the bone there as well. Pause, but they definitely did. Like, they could have ended up driving in a few more runs here and there. It's just unfortunately early they were not coming through. But Lindor turned out with a pretty solid day, 2 for 5 with the RBI. Soto drew a couple walks. I'm not loving that when he's making contact, it's on the ground a lot. But again, I am not panicking with Juan Soto, but it's definitely frustrating. Like, I'm sitting there pissed off. I'm not going to sit here and lie about that. Pete Alonso 0 for 4. Not a great day from him. Not a great series overall from him. But again, I'm not going to panic because he's been good. Because the first game he was good as well. I just mean the last 2 games for the series. But I'm not going to panic because he's been locked in all season long. So there's no reason to panic there. Nimmo, really nice to see him rebound a lot during the series. He went 2 for 4. Vientos, I'm glad to see him get huge that huge hit there and getting 2 RBIs, drawing that walk. Terrence 3 for 4 was great. And then the bottom of the order each contributed a hit there, the bottom three. But yeah, overall, very solid. Now they head to Minnesota. Hopefully they could keep this thing going with winning some series here. So we'll see how it goes. I predict them to win the first two and lose this one. So I'll take what it is. Whatever gets them 2 wins in the series gets a thumbs up for me. And puts them now at 10 wins, sitting with the some good company right now with a good amount of teams that, or actually, yeah, I mean in the NL, you have a lot of double-digit win teams, and then somehow in the AL, the Angels are one of the closest teams to 10 wins. The Blue Jays and the Tigers all with 9 wins. Outside of that, Rangers too. Outside of that, everyone's lower. Damn, the Orioles are 6-9. I didn't even know that. But yeah, keep on winning series. So I'm happy. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat though before I wrap this up here. Matt SENGA probably would have gotten a complete game shutout without the restrictions, but his fastball, cutter, and forkball were excellent. 1,000,000%. Yeah. The way he was mixing his pitches was just beautiful today. Like it looked like the ace stuff we see from him. I know he didn't get the strikeouts that an ace would, but they needed the volume most importantly from him. So I'm very happy. I love Sega's fastball velo being up today. So far as velo average was 94.3 this year. Today it was 95.9. Very good signs. Yeah, up a good amount. Up a very good amount. And I hope that's not a thing where, in the cold weather it's going to dip, and I'm hoping that it's something that sustains. But yeah, much needed what they got from him, and it was just beautiful to watch. Like I said, really beautiful. Even Beatty had a good game. He had a respectable game. I don't know. I mean, his play in the field was it was good. I was impressed with his play in the field. At the plate, I was still a little annoyed. He had that triple, but it was also in garbage time. But I guess it's better to do something than nothing. I don't know. Yes, you can get a shout out. Shout out to you, Jonathan. Thank you for being in these streams a good amount. I appreciate you a ton for that. But yeah, I think that's really all I got. So there will be a podcast episode tomorrow, of course, and we'll be talking about this series in depth. We'll be talking about the series coming up versus Minnesota, where hopefully, again, just I would love a sweep, but 2 out of 3. Like keep taking 2 out of 3, and I would absolutely take that. But we'll talk about all that more in depth tomorrow. Thank you everyone for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live. And I'll see you guys in the next one.